Sometimes maths just doesn't make sense. I want to understand it. Let's get together for Sunday best and to learn about faith with our friend Church Mouse Jess.
Hey Catholic kids, it's me Joanie and our friend Church Mouse Jess. He's our sweet little church mouse who helps us learn all about our beautiful Catholic faith and the things that make it really fun and interesting and unique. Today we are waiting on a visit from our friend Luke. Luke is one of the writers of the Bible.
That's right. He wrote a whole book about the things he saw and the lessons he learned from following Jesus. He even wrote letters to some of the people who were having a hard time believing in Jesus to encourage them to follow him.
Luke is one of our Catholic saints, which means he was somebody who lived his life for God, and he gave us an example on how we can live our life for God. Interesting fact though, Luke was believed to be a doctor, and they think that he treated St. Paul. He would send letters and travel all over to teach people about the things he had learned about Jesus.
And it looks like he's here now. Hi, Luke.
Oh, hi there. Listen, I have to tell you one of my favorite stories that your priests are actually sharing with your grown-ups today. I wrote it down in my book. Do you mind sharing it with our friends?
I would love to. Thank you.
This story is about the time Jesus performed a miracle after hopping in a boat with a few fishermen. These guys had been fishing all night, and they hadn't caught a single fish. They were discouraged and frustrated, and suddenly Jesus wants to get in their boats and have them lower their nets. Next, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. Read the story now so they can find out what happens next.
Well, you have my attention. Let's dive into it. Jesus was teaching near a lake. People crowded around to hear his message. He got into a boat that belonged to a fisherman named Simon Peter. Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Row your boat out a little ways." Jesus sat in Simon Peter's boat and taught the people on the shore about God. When he finished teaching, he said to Simon Peter, "Row out to the deep water. You will catch fish there." Simon Peter said, "Jesus, we fished all night and didn't catch anything, but we will try again if you say so." Simon Peter caught so many fish that his nets began to tear. His friends in another boat rowed out to help him. They filled both boats with fish. Simon Peter said, "Jesus, you are too great for a sinner like me." Jesus said to him and the other fishermen, "Do not be afraid. You caught all of these fish because you listened to me. Follow me and we will go fishing for people to join us." Simon Peter and his friends left their fishing boats, followed Jesus, and helped him gather other followers. Luke wasn't kidding. That was a really cool story. Their nets were so heavy with fish that they were actually breaking. They needed more people to come help and pull in those nets into the boat. That sounds like a miracle for sure. I wonder what Jesus was trying to teach us in Luke's story.
Oh, I know. Jesus tells the fishermen that he will make them fishers of men. I think this means he wants them to go out and tell people about Jesus and, like the fishermen, pulling a fish into a boat, bring them into the faith with Jesus.
Jess, I hadn't even thought about it like that before, but I bet you're right. I bet Jesus wants us to be fishers of men too. See how these men were fishing in the story? Let's pretend we're going fishing for men just like Jesus. So here we have Jesus and his fisherman friends, but we're going to pretend that these are our friends. So let's say our friends are out and they're playing basketball or they're swinging on the playground, and you see a friend who looks like they've gotten their feelings hurt playing basketball. Maybe someone was teasing them because they haven't been able to make their shots, or maybe they're just getting really discouraged because they feel left out. And so you come along and pretend you're a fisherman. So we bring out our fishing pole, and here we are as fishers of men, and this is our opportunity to bring them in to love God. So we say, hey there, it looks like you're a little upset. Would you want to come play some Foursquare with me? And just like that, you have made a fisher of men. It's showing them your Christ-like heart, and doing so, begin showing them how to have a happy and a faithful heart. Let's try another one. Let's say that you've been saving up your money to buy a video game, but then you find out that one of your friends is trying to raise money for a neighbor who's in need. Just by using your resources and helping others, you are showing them that a spiritual life is a giving life. Your action may inspire them to seek a relationship with Jesus. And just like that, you are helping to make fishers of men. Let's look at another example. So here we have a bowl of water, just plain water. Now, if I take a paper clip and it's all by itself with no help from anyone, what's going to happen if we drop it in the water? Let's find out. Oh, it just sinks to the bottom. Let's try this again. Oh, again, just goes right to the bottom because it's all by itself. But what if I told you that if it had a friend to help it, it could float and stay at the top? So here we have a little friend. And what's going to happen is we bent it a little. So it's kind of like how if you bend backwards or bend for a friend to help them a little bit, you can become their fisher of men. So let's see how this works. You're going to help one of your friends, and you're going to help to lift them up. You go very slowly. And look at that. It floats. Just like that. You can help somebody just by showing them how to live your life for God. And then, watch this. As they start to float, they too can become a fisher of men. So let's put in another one, shall we? All right. We're going to be a fisher of men, and we're showing them how to live like God and to be kind. And we're going to lift them up and help keep them on the top. And what you'll notice is that they're all going to start to go together. And then they stick together. Just like people of Christ. When you use your good heart and you're following God and you're staying with others who also follow God, look, they stick together and they help each other stay at the top.
Wow! Is that a miracle?
Well, not exactly. See, scientists can explain why this happens. And while it surprises us, it doesn't mean that it's an actual miracle. But Jesus filling a fisherman's boat full of thousands of fish is something we can't explain. So that is a miracle.
Oh, I see. Miracles can only come from God.
That's right. We as humans don't understand and can't explain why things happen, but God is there to show us things that we can't control or figure out.
Well, I still think that's pretty cool. Even if it wasn't a miracle, I want to work on being a fisher of men and bringing people closer to Jesus too.
That's a great idea. Friends, I hope you all can think of some ways that you can teach people about Jesus and show Christ's love through your giving actions. I want to challenge each of you to come up with 5 things this week that will help you fish people closer to God. How about you, Jess?
I think I'm going to share some of my delicious cheddar cheese with some of the hungry mice outside in the cold.
Well, that's a great idea. And it's a selfless act to share with others in need. I hope each of you can find your way that you can share your love for God. Bring your stories back next week, and you can join us for another episode of Sunday Best with Church Mouse Jess. Bye-bye.